welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. Part 2 of the Nero Diablo series. I was in Sicily, and as I mentioned before, we went to several different restaurants there. We were there for almost 3 weeks. Almost 3 weeks, about 2.5 weeks. So we tried several restaurants, and all the restaurants had Nero Diablo on their menu. Some, they had a couple, 2 or 3. And I chose Nero Diablo because of the price point, much better than Etna Rosso, although I did have an Etna Rosso a couple of times. But the point of that is that as I tried all these Nero Diablo, I realized they showed quite a bit of difference. Not a huge amount, but you could tell they were all different in style. Some showed minerality, some showed more fruit. And it was really interesting to me because I've never, ever tried that many Nero Diablo in a span of 2.5 weeks. So it really stood out to me, and I became very interested in this varietal, more so than normal. Nero Diablo is loosely translated, or is translated, the black of Avila. It's a dark-skinned grape, and Avila is in the southeast side of Sicily. Sorry, where was I going there? Anyway, so we actually have one from that part of Avila. Avila actually has its own DOC in that area called Evolo, or Eloro. Make sure I get that right. Yeah, Eloro. So, very interesting. We have one of those wines here from there. It's the most widely planted grape in Sicily. So it's their workhorse. It's their wine that they really hang their hat on. In the 20th century, not so much. It was more of a blending grape. But then wineries like Planeta, Kos, and Donu Fugata took it to the next level and made a varietal out of it. So it became known more as Nero Diablo, based not a blend. And so here we are looking at Nero Diablo, and we're in the last episode. I want to apologize for not putting up subtitles. In fact, if you want to make a comment, do you really appreciate those subtitles? I know, it's kind of cool to see it. You can see how it's spelled and that sort of thing. If I spell it right, that is. Anyway, so we're going to get right into this episode with the... And the cool thing, and I mentioned this in the last episode, is most Nero Diablo are under 20. There's a few under 25, but it's really hard to find a Nero Diablo in the 30-plus range. They are there, but it doesn't happen that often. So let's get started right off the bat with the Pato Nero Diablo from Sicily, made with organic grapes. That's always encouraging for some. I think it's vegan certified. 2021. This rolls in at $11. I'm excited to try this. $11 Pato Nero Diablo. A little rinse. Now I have a spit bucket here. I'm starting to get it together now, after a fairly long break, which I do not like to do. Got quite a few hits on the last episode, so I'm excited to see how many people follow with me on this. Good color on this, kind of a reddish, dark reddish color. You can see through it just a little bit. I got the lighting, I hope it's working. Let's see what we get on the nose. I'm getting a little vanilla on the nose, which is interesting. I doubt that has any oak on it. By the way, Nero Diablo, they do like to oak it. Because it does age when it has oak on it, but there's also a lot of fresher versions that have maybe neutral oak or even maybe concrete or stainless steel. This has some baking spice on the nose. I find that very intriguing. Some of the candied cherries going on there. A little bit of licorice coming through. Very perfumed on the nose. Let's see what we get on the palate. Nice red fruits. This is a fresher version of Nero Diablo, but I like it. Has a little tannic structure on the backside, a little bit of minerality, which is really cool. And that's what I noticed about Nero Diablo is, like I said, somewhere had fruit forward. Down in the southeast, you got a lot more heat units down there, a lot hotter, so you get that. And then when you get up into higher elevations, the Nero Diablo has become a little lower in alcohol, a little smoother, different flavor profile. So, red fruits, red cherries, A little bit of minerality, kind of minerally tannins. The licorice hits on the mid palate. This has a nice flow to it. It's not a complex Nero Diablo, but it's a delicious Nero Diablo. I'd have this with pizza, hamburgers. It'd be perfect. 11 bucks. You know, how can you beat that? Well, you go 10. I like the red flower notes that come through, hit on the mid palate into the finish. The finish is medium. Doesn't go a long way, but it's still kind of lingering there. I like it. That minerality, almost like a red crushed brick minerality coming through. Great QPR wine. I like it for 11 bucks, like I said. For $11, I'm going to go B minus. It doesn't show a huge amount of complexity, but it's a very good wine. It's well made. It's complex. I mean, it's balanced. Good acidity. Nice tannic structure on the backside. Nice red fruits. I'm going to go B minus. Let's move on. Nice start. This is last episode was awesome. This is a Villa Tanino. Nero Diablo from Sicily, of course. These are all from Sicily, but I'm going to just say it anyway. This rolls in at $12. Villa Tanino. Now, hopefully, as we go through these, you guys will see the differences in these wines and how they just reflect the terroir. In fact, I mentioned that we went up and visited Planeta on Mount Etna, and the guide there, she mentioned how Nero Diablo really does reflect terroir. And I thought that piqued my interest since I had already tasted several. Much darker than the first one, almost hedging towards the black side. See what we get on those. Oh, big time cinnamon. I love the cinnamon on this. Oh, huge cinnamon. Huge cinnamon. Very interesting. Licorice, some currant notes coming through. A little bit of a raspberry. Let's see what we got on the palate. I love the cinnamon. Different animal. Licorice, currants, dark cherries. The cinnamon comes through right on the backside. A little bit more fruit forward, but still has a little freshness underneath. Different. Getting some chocolate notes on this one. This one freshens up on the finish, has a little bit more fruit up front in the mid palate, then it kind of goes into a fresher, kind of brighter, kind of red flower petal sort of thing. Really like this, both of them, but this one takes a step up, and it's only $1 more. So I'm going to have to go B plus on this. I just think it's a stellar example of Nero Diablo for $12. And you'll find that a lot with Nero Diablo. For those of you that have not dove into this varietal, I'd encourage you to do that, because if you're, when you're drinking red wine for dinner, as I do every day, I have some wine. You want value wines because, unless you're freaking rich, it's hard to afford drinking wine on a daily basis when you start getting up in the $30, $40, $50 range. Nicely built, good complexity, seamless across the palate, a little bit of tannic grip on the end. Again, another good food wine, and for the same foods I was just talking about. I'd even go with a roasted chicken on this one. Beautiful wine, B plus. Now we're setting the bar here. This is the La Bella Sidara Nero Diablo from Donna Fugata. Now we mentioned Donna Fugata. This is one of the wineries that really took the Nero Diablo as a single varietal and really made it shine. This was in at $21. Donna Fugata Sidara Nero Diablo. Excited to try this one. I I could get done if we got it, to tell you the truth, mate. Yeah. And so many of these, when I say $21, that's just straight up if you just put it on the shelf. You know, there's so many, you can wheel and deal and get better deals when you buy cases of something. So depending on the wine, you know, whether or not you want to go down that road, you know what I'm saying. Color on this one is hedging towards black. Again, we call it the Black of Avila. And yes, it's a dark skinned grape. Let's see what we get on the nose. This leans towards kind of almost a leather notes, a little bit of black olive. I get the scent of a blending of currants and dark cherries. A little perfumed action going on. I like the cinnamon in that Villa Tanino. I can smell a little bit of a dusty minerality. Let's see what we get on the palate. Dark cherries, currants, blueberry, you know, a little raspberry action on this one. This one has some, very similar to Villa Tanino, but it has some really intensity on the front and the mid palate. Then it kind of morphs into kind of more acid driven, higher acid finish, but not in an offensive way. I mean, it doesn't pucker you up or anything. But that is a great food wine too because of the acidity. I'm almost thinking, could you do Nero Diablo for Thanksgiving? Because of, you know, the fatty foods in Thanksgiving, and you need wine with acidity, not too tannic. This is not too tannic. Nero Diablo does have some tannins to it, but this isn't over the top. Even some chocolate, like milk chocolate notes on the finish. The raspberry really shines on the mid palate on this one. Good balance, good structure. Nicely done, Nero D'Avola. I'm going to go BB plus on that one as well. A little bit more money, of course. I think if you start buying it by the case, you could probably drop that price down a bit. I know you can. But nicely done. Good food wine. In fact, Villa Tanino, you could probably go solo if you wanted to just sit back and watch, you know, one of your favorite TV programs, sports or whatever, and drink that. This one, I think, really will benefit with some food. And I'm thinking to go with pasta with red sauce, meatballs, pizza, burgers with blue cheese, any of that. Now, I'm excited to try this one. This is I think it's Spaccaforno. I'm going to go with Spaccaforno from Rio Favara Spaccaforno, Nero D'Avola from the Loro DOC that is in Avila. So that's kind of exciting. This rolls in at $25. It's 2019. When I was in Sicily, it was warm, very warm. We had a couple of really cool thunder and lightning storms. I like that stuff, you know. But that wasn't the main part. It was warm. When we went over on Mount Etna, it was like, take your coat off, put your coat on, take your coat. And then finally the sun came out. It was really nice. Okay, again, very dark, hedging toward the black side. Let's see what we get on those. Excited to try this one, 25 bucks. Ooh, this has a tiny little bit of funk on the nose, which is cool. Get some chocolate notes. Now when you get up in the $25 range, which you don't see that often with Nero D'Avola, you're probably looking at some oak treatment. I'm getting some baking spices on this one as well. Chocolate, currants, dark cherries. Let's go to milk chocolate more than anything. The funk is kind of blowing off. I didn't have these open for a long time, but 15, 20 minutes. Definitely licorice notes coming through. Let's see what we get on the palate. Definitely wood tannins. Big time wood tannins. Huge wood tannins. almost too much for me. Just saying. I need a big ribeye right now. This is a interesting wine. It has some iron notes, a little bit of blood action going on, a little bit of rust. Now, trust me, they're all different. This one's the most different of all of them. The first two different, these closer together. But this one is this is a muscle. This is a muscle, man. This needs some age. It's 2019, so it's already has, what, 4 years on it? Dry wood tannins on this. Very dry. Almost austere. I get the, there are some chocolate notes on there, but this is nothing to do with fruit forward wine. I believe it's Kermit Lynch wine. I think, yeah, Kermit Lynch. And Kermit Lynch wine doesn't surprise me this is that way because, you know, Kermit Lynch and his son kind of hedge towards this. High acid, I go medium plus acid on this one. It needs age. This baby, I can't even really grade it fairly because I think it needs to be in the bottle another 5 to 10 years. The oak is a little strong. Black olive. I think this is, as this one airs out and opens up, it might mellow out a little bit. Right now I'm not super excited about it. I think if somebody bought this for 25 bucks, they would be a little bit disappointed unless there was somebody there, wine steward, to tell them, you know, this is what you're in for, or maybe you should buy this if you're looking for stuff to put in your cellar and lay down for 5 to 10 years. This might be the way to go. My palate is telling me that this will age, that with a little bit more air on it, I haven't had these open that long, with maybe some decanting, this would soften up just a little bit. Get some black olive notes coming through. It's opening up some now. Not quite as bad. And this is a food wine. Let's just say it. You need a steak. You need a stew. You need some pizza. You need some great Sicilian pasta dishes with red sauce. That's what you need with this wine. I'd have it. I might even go with lamb on that one. Hamburger with blue cheese would be perfect. I'm going to be fair to this one because I don't think it's showing its best right now. Maybe it needs to be decanted a little bit longer. Just saying. So I'm going to go B. It's not a B minus wine. I can see the potential. I'm not sure if it's a B plus, A minus wine because I'm not there yet. But I'm going to go straight up B. If you're buying this wine, it'll probably be less than $25 on the shelf based on your buyer. I'll be really interested to see how it develops this evening after it's been open a while. A little hit of blueberry on the mid palate. Straight up B. There you have it. Nero Diablo Part 2. And this was a good show. The last one was just not so sure. Not so sure. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I appreciate it very much. Hope you are enjoying these programs. And if you feel the need, please subscribe to my channel and like the video. Evidently, if you like it, it gets out there a little bit better. So if you like this, like it, subscribe to my channel. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.